good people of Bilbao. From all over the world, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Wow, so you had an exhausting day, right?
Why, yes.
Quite exhausting, isn't it? But did you have a coffee?
No.
No coffee?
No time for coffee.
No time for coffee. Okay, so I will be your coffee then. I will be your coffee then, all right? Okay, so, well, welcome to a very, very special talk. Just in case you are like falling asleep, let me wake you up with my guitar. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Oh, very nice. Okay. Well, I need some help. I have to tell you many things, but let me start with my guitar, okay? All right. The ones in the first row. Take care of yourself. I need some help, right? I need you to do this. Okay. Nobody's sleeping, right? Nobody's sleeping, perfect. Have the whole attention on the room, right? Okay. Well, so let me introduce myself very briefly. I'm a freak. Yeah. A true freak. I live in the intersection of three worlds, right? I live in the intersection of your world and one of yours. I mean, I don't work for Bilbao, but I've been working in many companies. I'm an economist. I've been working for international companies and local companies for years. Not many years because I'm not that old, as you can see. Now I'm older than I seem because rock and roll keeps me, young. But anyway, I'm in the intersection of your world, the world of companies, the world of education. As a teacher, I'm teaching marketing and creativity in one of the Spanish most famous business school, which is SalvaROCK Business School. I don't know if you know it. And the world of music. I'm a musician, an artist, singer, songwriter. I have released a couple of CDs that you can find on Spotify. That's true. So if you search SalvaROCK, you will find my first one. The second one has a different name. And I'm working on the third one because I can't help it and I'm all the time writing new songs. So from this intersection, I can see many interesting things that can inspire both one world to the other, right? So I bring ideas from the world of arts, from the world of music, to inspire the thinking in the world of business. What I do, it's called music thinking. Music thinking, the way musicians think, with the intention to inspire you new ideas and new concepts, and maybe breaking some of your concepts and mind structures. That's my intention. So, well, let me start by a very nice story, just to break the ice. You know these people? Who's these people? Oh, the Beatles. Right. You have an age, right? The Beatles. All right, you recognize them instantly, right? Well, these are the Beatles. These are the Beatles.
All my loving, I will say to you. All my loving, darling, I will do.
So, well, this short story I love. This is probably the best story, the best anecdote in the world of music at all. These people, they stopped playing live right in the middle of their careers. This was like the late 60s, was like around 68, 69, I believe. And this is one of the last concerts because, as you can see, can you see the crowd? How many people was in the crowd? But these people, this is what we normally call, this is a high performance team. Okay, this is a high performance team, Beatles. They were really good musicians. They had been playing together since they were kids. In fact, George Harrison, he was only 15 when he joined the Beatles. Only 15, come on, he was a kid. But the others were 16, 17, I mean, they all were kids. And they had been playing forever, for ages, with different names. They weren't called the Beatles at the beginning, that was later on. But at this stage, they were really fantastic musicians. But their live concerts, they were a mess. They were horrible. Because, you know, these people, they were all like shouting. Ah, can you remember, have you seen a video of a live performance? The crowd was always like, ah, and they were trying to play something, and the crowd was, ah, all the time, right? Continuously. So they couldn't listen to each other. So how can you play with someone else and make music if you cannot listen what he's doing? So, the drum player, Ringo Starr, he confessed that he was paying attention to John Lennon movements. John Lennon was singing and dancing. And Ringo Starr had to pay attention to the rhythm, to capture the rhythm, because he couldn't hear a thing. So can you imagine what a disaster? So the technology at the time didn't help a lot, because, you know, these people, they were playing with this amplifier. This is my amplifier, this is a very little amplifier, this is my little amplifier, only 10 watts. This was a 100 watts amplifier. It's not enough to project the sound to a big venue like this one at all. So they literally were playing by sight, just looking at each other. So it was a disaster. So, and after one of these last concerts, they were, you know, in the rehearsing room, they were having a shower, and Ringo Starr, he told to his bandmates, hey, tonight, when we were playing All My Loving, was the song, it sounded really weird, but hey, I really had a good time playing that song. And the other three look at each other. And then looked at Ringo and told him, Ringo, we never played that song tonight. and Ringo said, oh, but I did. So can you imagine the disaster? I mean, come on. I mean, you're a band, you should be playing the same song, no? Right? So it's not only about playing together, it's about playing together the same song. You know? That's why that made me think a lot about the way we as an organization, we musicians, the way we've been learning by doing and by solving these kind of problems, how to do a good job, even with these limitations. You know? So we musicians, before, well, we've learned a lot since Beatles time, the time of the Beatles. You know? Long before starting a live concert, we go to the venue with the empty room and we make a sound check. Sound check means that we can play for 3 hours if necessary. We have to make sure that each one of the musicians can listen to each other properly. And each one of us, we need a different mix. Because, you know, maybe the bass player is doom, 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 doom. He needs to listen properly to the drum player, because they both are the rhythmic team. So they need to work together and make it work. So maybe the bass player needs to listen. Well, normally we use kind of monitors, which are like speakers, but those speakers are on the stage, looking backwards, looking to the musicians, so that we musicians, we can make, well, it's like a mirror, right? We can listen to each other's. Before we are projecting or delivering the sound, or if you will, the product, delivering our product to the public, right? To the audience. So before, we need to make sure that we are doing a good job. So that's the sound check. That made me think a lot. In companies, do we do our sound check? Do we have enough systems to listen to each other? You know, the commercials, the marketing people, the accountants, the logistics. I mean, are we really playing the same song? Well, that's food for thought. That's just a short story for you to think. My will is to inspire your thinking and your criticism and your creativity. So I wanted to start with this short story. I'm going to talk this afternoon. I'm going to talk about, well, many people that you will recognize, I hope. These people, for me, they are entrepreneurs that that did it so well that they turned into international companies. In fact, when I see these people, what I see is big organizations, They're making a lot of money. They have millions of customers. So their product is music and experiences. We'll talk about that later on. But they have a market. They have to deliver something. They have customers. They have to really do a good job. It's always the same. Don't get confused. Don't get fooled about these. They are musicians. They have a good time on stage. But before getting to the stage, they have to work a lot, because then they have, in the case of Bruce Springsteen, like 3-hour show, 4-hour show. In others, normally it's 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. But before that time, they need to organize a big logistical system so that it's perfect. Okay, and in some sense, it's the same as we companies. We need to do to make sure that everything works before, going to the market and start working, right? So you probably have to break some of your social programming, because we all have been programmed to think that, let me make an experiment. I will start as a statement, and you have to finish it. Are you ready? Statement starts hard. Starts by sex, drugs. Exactly. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Isn't it? People from all over the world, we have received the same instruction. Okay? So you never thought that behind this world we could find anything valuable farther than, some kind of music and, funny things. But there's a lot of things. Let me show you this. This is a rock concert. The band is Motorhead. Any fans of Motorhead in the audience? Any fans? No? Oh, what happened? You never imagined who would. Don't look at him. So this is Motorhead, and the band leader said this. That was a great time. Sound absurd. I can't remember it, but I will never forget it. So this is the kind of things that can explain or justify that you never imagined that there were valuable ideas behind this world. But I see, because I live in the intersection, remember? So I can see clearly that this is a world of, unbelievable values for us, unbelievable inspirational concepts. These people are creative. They live in co-creation. They live out of innovation, adaptation to change, reinvention. They have to build a fan base among their customers. So, and they have to do teamwork, leadership, many concepts that are exactly the same in our world, in the world of organizations, right? So that's why I do these talks, and I try to connect the dots between both worlds. So let me, I told you who am I. I'm a teacher, I'm a businessman like you, I'm a musician, so you know me. I know you very briefly. Let me make a test. Let me test you, because I want to know exactly how familiar you are with certain songs that you should be familiar with. So let's make a test. Are you ready?
Yes.
Do you consider you to be competitive people? Are you competitive people? Yes. All right. So let's take advantage of this room organization. We have a separation here. We have like 2 teams, right? I have like team A and team B. Okay. Let's do something to compete. I will start playing the first chords of very famous songs, international songs. Don't worry, I'm not going to play El Fari. Yeah? For the Spaniards that may know who is El Fari, all right? No, El Fari, no. Just international. Right? So the game is that if you recognize a song and you could tell either the name of the song or the name of the band, you have to raise your hand. Don't shout the name, just raise your hand. I will see you, all right? So I will see who's the first between 2 teams, right? You're competing, right? You ready? So the first one, I will ask him or her, If he or her is right, then 1 point to that team. Okay, we'll play several songs. If he fails, then change. The other team will have the opportunity to make the point. Okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Chan chan. Chan chan. Chan chan. Okay, let me think. Okay, what about this? Are you ready?
Yes.
You were the first. The last one. Last one. Exactly. I love this song. Oh my god. Ooh, can you see this? Well, so 1 point, okay? What about this? Yeah, what about this? Yeah, right one. And you were the first one. Queen. Oh, the name of the band, the name of the song, that's perfect. Wow. Pay attention, right? Pay attention, okay? Okay, let's go for something maybe more closer in time, right? Closer in time. Ready? You were the first one. Nirvana. All right. Perfect. Okay. So what about these now? Along with me, no problem. Nobody's singing now, but you were the first one.
Oasis.
Oasis, yeah. Very great. Let's add. It was just 1 second between you and you. 1 second. Just 1 second.
That makes a difference.
Yeah. A second can make a big difference, right? Okay, let's add some distortion. Now we have distortion. Okay. What about this? What about this? What about this? Only you. No, that was.
I don't know the name. I don't know the name.
You do what? He failed.
Take it right.
What?
You gotta take it a ride.
No. Again? Any. I cannot hear you. Born to be wild. goal. So 3-2. 3-2. Hey, 3-2. Well done, well done. Okay, so more songs. What about this? You were the first one. AC/DC, perfect. 3-3. Ready? This sounds much better if you clap your hands. Okay, so you were the first one. Again, Deep Purple. 4-3. All right. Let me think. Oh yeah, let me think. Finish. Well, this is the last chance. You can be the same or you can win. Right? Okay? Last chance. Ready?
Whatever you want.
What?
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want, exactly, yeah. Okay. So you're my age, more or less, right? We like the same songs, all right. Nice people. Now I understand you better. Okay. Great. Well, so I could be playing forever, but I want to tell you things. So, any fans of YouTube? It's YouTube. So this is YouTube. This is YouTube. Wow, what a band! What a band! So another interesting story about this band is the way they've been working together forever. And they have been into several crises, but they remain together. And here's one of the tricks. You know this man, he's Larry Mullen Jr., he's the drum player. Actually, he was the one who gathered the other ones. He published an announcement telling, hey, I'm searching for musicians to create a band. And the other three appeared. Hey, we would like to play with you. So they were very young, they were at the university. I think one of them was the teacher of the others. I don't know. Sometimes I'm playing with my students at the university. Yeah, I don't know. One day I will be, the new you too. Who knows? Because my students come to me from time to time. Hey, could you play with us? So this man created the band. He was interviewed once, and he told to the journalists, he told, I'm not a big drum player. I'm not a great drum player, but I'm the right drum player for you two. And that means a lot, because he's not a genius player. In fact, if you listen to the music, you will notice that the drum player is very simple. It's very simplistic. It's not like, a complicated, sophisticated drum playing. No. It's very simple. But the fact is that he knows exactly what to do to create those spaces to the other musicians, so other musicians can find their place to play, to shine sometimes, not all the time. Well, normally shines the most normally is the singer. The singer is normally, that's why the singer is normally called the front man. The front, because he's at the front, he's looking at the audience, and he's shining more than the rest. But each of them has their moments to shine, but they need to give support to others, to know when they can shine, or they have to give room to shine to others. So it's a story of group intelligence. So the U2, you can notice that the result is one of those cases, magical cases, where the result is much bigger than the addition of the individuals. Because each one of them, well, now they are masters. Practice makes the master. They are practicing and playing together for years. Now they are absolutely wonderful musicians. But not at the beginning. At the beginning they were average musicians. But they gathered these talents, and they found this group intelligence, meaning, the group becomes intelligent. We know exactly how we can give support to others and build something valuable together. It's the same with, I don't know if you're a supporter or you're fans of Bruce Springsteen.
Yes.
Yeah, how many? Bruce Springsteen, hands for Bruce Springsteen. Oh. So Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, right? So it's the same with the E Street Band. The E Street Band, they are absolutely unbeatable when they are together. But they all, individually, they all have released their own material. They all have released their own songs and albums. But you probably didn't hear to them, because individually they are average. But when they're together, they are masters. And that's something that, it's, give food for thought. It made me think a lot about the value of, hiring someone with, a lot of talents and titles and whatever else, somebody very, very intelligent, or hiring someone who knows how to work into it with the team and give this support and space and making something bigger, right? Because, sometimes organizations, we are obsessed about hiring talent, and maybe sometimes that's not the key. The key is hiring someone who knows how to work fine with a group. That's the key. So now let me tell you about one of the concepts, the main concepts of my talk, which is transformation, right? Transformation. Normally I work with, when I'm talking, I work with questions, because I don't know about your business. You know about your business. It's your business, right? I'm just someone specialized in asking questions, inspiring questions. So this afternoon I brought 3 questions for you. Before each question, I need to tell you a story, and then you will bring the question home. Take it away. Right? For you, it's like food for thought, things that may inspire you. So, transformation, change is the only constant in the universe. It seems paradox, right? But change is the only constant. Everything changes. Either if we want it or we reject it, but everything changes. The business is changing, the world is changing, the customers are changing, everything changes. So we musicians, we've been dealing with the change and the transformation of our business for the last 2 decades, more than ever. So let me tell you a story. It all began with live music. Long ago, before the recording industry, if you were a musician, you had to play live. If you want to earn money, you had to play live. In the Middle Ages, if you were a troubadour, you had to sing. Otherwise, nobody will give you money, right? So if you want to earn money, you have to, sweat your t-shirt and play live, right? But then, at some point in the last century, somebody figured out how to record that music forever in a physical support. They were like a battle of different formats. This was the winner, the vinyl record. Does anybody of you has a vinyl record at home? Oh, come on. I love you. I have vinyls at home as well. But now they're coming back, that? You go to FNAC or any big records store, and you will find the new records by Coldplay or any of the new bands, they are releasing it in CD, in MP3, and in vinyl. And you can buy new turntables with USBs connections, which is amazing. You can play your vinyls and connect it to, plug it to your laptop, and then turn it into an MP3. It's amazing. But well, at some point, this was the winner. Before that, we had like even cylinders. You know that? The first records were cylinders. It was an amazing format. But this was the winner, okay? You know what? The first musicians, they rejected to be recorded. They thought that if they were recorded, nobody else would hire them because, you know, you have my music, you don't need me. That was, you know, because every innovation, we're talking about innovation, right? Every innovation gets a rejection when it's born, a no, a big no when it's born. So the jazz musicians in the United States, they were working in a union, like a group of musicians, and they had a meeting to discuss about this thing, and they adopted a position, and the position was, we are not going to permit nobody to record us, never again. But you know, some musicians started being recorded, and they found out, wow, the radio stations, they were using those recordings to play music online, to play music live. So it was like, wow. And more people were calling those musicians, hiring them for new concerts, just because they have heard them on the radio. So it was like, come on, we thought that this was going to kill the music, and now we have more gigs than ever, more concerts than ever. So they finally, you know, changed their mind, and they started recording. And so the recording industry was born at that time, right? 60 years later, someone else figured out how to turn this thing, this analog thing, into digital, into ones and zeros. And they invented this new format, which was the CD. I believe you have plenty of CDs. Probably most of you paid twice for the same music. So you had that music in vinyl, and then you paid again for exactly the same Beatles album or whoever, or Led Zeppelin or whoever, in this new format. So you paid twice for the same music. So the musicians, they were very happy. Come on, you're paying again for the same music. Right? But right after this, someone else figured out how to separate the ones and zeros from the physical format. And then, you know, if you add that to the internet and the peer-to-peer thing, then there's a phantom of the past that comes to you now, and the name is Napster. Can you remember that? Napster? Oh, you're older than you think. If you remember Napster. Okay, so Napster. So we opened, you know, the Pandora's box with Napster and the MP3s and everything. So some musicians started to think, you know, the innovations that this is going to kill the music industry. Please don't use MP3s. But at the end, you know, we have Spotify, or Napster came to an end, but we have many other things, and now we have Spotify and many others, the streaming services, the online radios. And now, if you change your mind, if you change your mind structure, your perspective, and you reprogram the way you're thinking, you will notice that now we are experiencing more live music than ever, just because the distribution has boomed thanks to this, right? So we can think about MP3s and peer-to-peer platforms and, you know, people not paying for music as a new